After you throw your ball, you got to stretch your arm back and as far as you could. Just don't throw like this. So after you throw your ball, you got to stretch your arm back and as far as you can. So behind you. And at the same time, you move back your body and actually turn a little bit to the side. And as the ball falls down, you go forward. And here, it's not necessarily only a punching motion, it's more like a hook. You're drawing an arc here. So you come behind your body and then you go forward and then you turn into the ball. It's like this motion. And then at the same time, you gotta rotate your body back. So this part is very important. You gotta lower your weight to keep the ball low and also to return to your ready position. So it looks like something like this. Right? So you go forward. So this hand has to go a bit towards the net. Now, it's mainly these three fingers, 1, 2, 3, these three putting the force on the racket. So the power comes from your body and then you accelerate your arm. And at the end, you need some wrist motion. Okay, at the end. So at the end, you need this part. So basically that's how you do it. And now, let's talk about spin. So if you contact the ball at the bottom, then it's a backspin with side spin. At the back, then side spin. And if you say, at the top, sure, it's a top spin. But there are different ways to do it. For example, you can still contact the bottom, but with a upward motion. So that's also a top and side spin. So that depends on how you want to fool your opponent. And now, I think Cullera does a very good job at fooling his opponent because first he starts his racket pretty flat, so you think, oh, it might be a backspin, right? And he contacts the ball and turns it this way. So sometimes he produces backspin and then turn it afterwards. So that's a backspin. And sometimes he contacts at the top of the racket, and during this motion, he rubs it upwards and forward, so it has a top spin on it.
Oh yeah.
Now these two strokes look very similar, but they have different spins, so it's very effective in games. And of course there are other ways to do it. For example, you can keep your racket pretty vertical, and then when you do backspin, you punch it down. And when you do topspin, you can also do a fake motion of going down.